Listen to what he just said.
I respect Destiny a lot.
Holy shit, he's a fucking retard.
He just called you an R-word?
Oh, left-wing moderation. Oh my god,
projection. You just don't know
my god, the
anything.
left-wing censorship media. Like,
You should go to jail.
Hi. So, Destiny and AsmonGold, two titans of the streaming industry, are officially butting heads. And I'm not gonna lie, it's actually a very interesting back and forth that occurred. I do genuinely think it's worth unpacking, and so that's what we're pretty much gonna do. Now, both AsmonGold and Destiny have accrued a lot of attention in recent times, okay? Destiny pretty damn consistently, but AsmonGold has especially had a high GTA wanted level for the last month or so after, of course.
These people are not your allies. They are not the same as us. And it is an inferior culture in all ways. I don't feel bad for them. I don't feel sorry for them. I don't care.
The Mountain Dew rat carcass reeking gamer versus the soy boy soylent sucking liberal. It's a battle for the ages, and so we're gonna take a look, and yeah, I don't know. Do you like my Paw Patrol Band-Aid? I know you're jealous. Yeah, I got a bit of a boo-boo on my cheek, and on my finger too. You got a problem with the patrol? Read the fucking sign, buddy. Anyway, let's just jump into it. So it all started with Destiny just kind of casually reacting to one of AsmonGold's recent clips. This video he uploaded to his channel a little bit after was basically, you know, the first little bit of it was him watching effectively like critical piece on Elon Musk, okay, and the way that he politically maneuvered in order to sway the election, which I do think is the case. I do think that Elon Musk successfully influenced the election. I don't think that's a secret, but yeah. And then Destiny went on to watch one of AsmonGold's clips, and he went gamer mode, okay? He challenged the Cockroach King to a duel, and we'll see what went down.
That he now has a kind of coterie of oligarchs, including the richest man in the world, who've kissed the ring, worked to get him elected, and are now apparently going to be running America.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the case.
Now, nobody had a problem when all the billionaires were doing that for the Democrat politicians. Nobody had a problem about that. But somehow we're supposed to act like this is a problem now? Get the fuck out of here. This has been happening forever.
This is the big take that triggers Destiny, okay? He doesn't like AsmonGold's both sidesing of this situation, all right? Effectively, AsmonGold is making the case that people are pretending like this is some grand exception, that Donald Trump becoming the president through arguably corrupt means, but certainly through manipulative means, that this is some kind of deviation from the norm, whereas AsmonGold is arguing that this is actually more or less the existing precedent, okay? And Destiny doesn't like that because he does view the Donald Trump presidency as an exceptionally belligerent abuse of the electoral process.
How do you know that it was billionaire Democrat influence that was involved? Well, it's simple.
what?
Nobody had a problem when all the billionaires were doing that for the Democrat politicians. Nobody.
Who, when, where, how? Can I just say two things? That's one, I think we can say that AsmonGold is a political streamer, which is kind of funny because two means that Hasan is only the second largest streamer now for politics on Twitch.
Is AsmonGold a bigger streamer than Hasan? I didn't even know that. Holy shit. That is crazy. I did not know that. Wow.
Nobody had a problem about that. But somehow we're supposed to act like this is a problem now? Get the fuck out of here. It's been happening forever. And how do you know that it was billionaire Democrat influence that was involved? Well, it's simple. It's because Bernie Sanders isn't the president right now.
What? Oh, I see. Okay, yeah. The argument he's making is basically that if the Democrat Party was not corrupt and didn't have all these, you know, billionaire interests, they would not have put together such a robust resistance to the Bernie Sanders campaign, okay? This is documented, this is the case, that there was a whole lot of political maneuvering that went into trying to effectively block Bernie from having any kind of real chance at winning the election on a mass scale. Especially, obviously, you know, with like a lot of kind of more mainstream news outlets, CNN specifically, I remember had some like egregious cases. But yes, he got stonewalled in a lot of contexts. And yes, a large reason for that is because he would be antagonistic to the interest groups that do fund these news organizations. That's true. But yeah, the way that AsmonGold did that kind of lateral connection, definitely, it threw me off as well. So let's see.
Okay, we're gonna bring this around. It's gonna come around. This is gonna make sense. This is gonna make a lot of sense, I'm sure.
See, I gave you the explanation of what he meant, okay? But he himself, he did not really explain himself very well there. So I get why Destiny's
Affected
confused.
by strongmen like Viktor Orban in Hungary and Recep Erdogan in Turkey, and of course, Vladimir Putin in Russia. All of these rulers have their little crew of corporate and industrial titans who often hold no official government titles, but do the work of the regime in ways large and small, legitimate and otherwise, in return for their access and special privileges, including squeezing the state coffers to line their own pocket. As The Atlantic's Franklin Foer puts it, the regime does the bidding of the billionaire.
This is one of the tricks that media does, is they write articles that are inaccurate or problematic, and then they cross-reference each other to create the semblance of authenticity or authority. So like they use each other for references, and they're like, well, he said it, and then I'm referencing back to this article that was written here. But the fact is that it's bullshit in a lot of cases. Like I think like Black Myth Wukong, like the example like that before is just like it. I'm not saying that this is like
Remember Gamergate? Okay.
exactly what it is. The regime does building of billionaires, and in turn the billionaires do the bidding of the regime. Sure, of course this happens. Yeah, definitely. Right? The unique danger of a Trumpist oligarchy, complete bullshit. Absolute complete bullshit. Do you really think all the other billionaires are giving the other, do you think that they gave all the other candidates money because they like them? And this is the thing, right? Is it's like a misrepresentation that's then referred back to as an authority.
Turn the billionaires do the bidding of the regime.
Yeah.
Power grows ever more concentrated.
This is why you need to, guys, when you're watching these alternative media people, you have to ask for examples. Like, give an example of this. Like, when you say that George Soros, because that's who he's referring to, right? When George Soros is doing improper things, like what? Give me an example. What are we talking about? Like, what?
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of cases you could cite in terms of like, you know, political potential, at least political corruption within the Democratic Party. Okay. I mean, the most memeified version of this is obviously like the Hunter Biden shit. Like, why does Hunter Biden have a multi-100K position in a random company in Ukraine? Well, yeah, of course, this is political maneuvering. Like, it's underhanded little deals occurring. You know, there's like big pharma, right? Like there's, I don't know, maybe this is what's confused, right? Because the Republican and the Democratic parties, okay, these two parties, they are not the same, but they are both composed and to primarily protect, project, and prioritize the interests of the elite, okay? It's just two different factions of the elite, which you could definitely break down into a bunch of whole little tiny little factions of the elite. But the point is, neither of these parties are actually acting primarily in the interest of, you know, the average American or whatever. Both parties are primarily acting on behalf of the elites, just different factions of that elite. I'll unpack that in a little bit, but let's keep it going.
What are these horrible things that they're doing that's even remotely close to the level of influence that Elon Musk has given to Trump?
Traded as the owners and the corrupt leaders conspire to protect their mutual hold on it. In short order, this arrangement has the potential to deliver a double blow to the American system. It can undermine capitalism and erode democracy all at once.
Eroding democracy is when you lose the vote.
I don't think that's what he's complaining about. My guess is, if this is 7 hours ago, is he's probably complaining about the fact that Elon Musk, who is the richest man in the world, who's controlling a social media platform that was like openly pro-Trump and supporting Trump, is now in calls with the president-elect with foreign leaders. That's probably what he's talking about, not just losing the vote.
And you may say, and you would be right, that corporate titans have always had a lot of political power, certainly from the little guy in America. But really, this is completely different from anything we've seen before.
How? I'm sorry, but like, how? What about super PACs and all these other things? This has been going on.
He doesn't know what a super PAC is, guaranteed.
Forever.
Just look at Elon Musk.
I'm not just MAGA. I'm dark, gothic MAGA. The future is going to be amazing.
And $130 million of his own wealth to get Trump elected. Yeah. That alone is unheard of. I mean, as far as we have records of, no one's ever done that before.
Holy shit, I didn't even know that. That's a lot of money. I guess not that much when you're
Didn't the Kamala Harris super PAC have like $17 billion or something like that? I mean, like...
What the money that an entire super PAC raises is not even, it's not even the claim that this guy just made. He just claimed that no individual on record has ever donated that much wealth individually to get a candidate elected before. Why are you citing the entire amount of money that a super PAC might have raised?
Yeah, let's be clear. Like, I swear to God, like Elon Musk is almost a professional gambler with the levels of insane calculated risks that he takes. Okay, he took massive risks in actually like really overtly and proudly championing Trump. All right, because yes, the vast majority of his wealth and the businesses that he relies upon for that wealth do rely on government contracts, sure, but mainly government approval for adoption, right? How are you going to sell Tesla cars if you don't have publicly funded charging stations, for example? How are you going to launch a rocket into space without the approval of the country in which you're firing rockets from, right?
Also, I have no idea how much money was even spent over the last election cycle. 17 billion? That sounds high.
16
billion was spent in the entirety of the 2024 election cycle.
That is a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
And this is the problem. Like, yeah, like look at George Soros, other people like this. Like, what are we talking about?
What are you talking about? What has George Soros done? Like, what's an example? Like, what's an example?
Yeah, I think Destiny's kind of spitting facts in the sense that I think that AsmonGold, his opinions are lazy, right? Like, they're not necessarily ironclad. I don't think that AsmonGold has necessarily taken the time to actually examine the specifics of the corruption or the alleged interference that these almost like buzzword-like billionaires have actually had. Although, let's be clear, these guys have absolutely done these things. It's just not always as exciting or as abnormal as, you know, sometimes is advertised in like right-wing media or whatever. Anyway, we're not going to watch this entire thing, but I think you get the idea. Okay, slowly AsmonGold's giving his takes, and then Destiny's just like, is this guy cooked? And slowly, Destiny gets a little bit more pissed off until he says this.
Musk also bought Twitter for $44 billion and drove its value to the ground. I mean, essentially setting half that money on fire, like $22 billion worth of value.
I love how the quote of Elon Musk is such a stupid asshole. He bought Twitter for $44 billion, and now he only controls all three branches of government. Yeah, it's crazy how, you know, he used this as a weapon to effectively change the outcome of an election. It is the most powerful media tool probably in the world right now. And somehow the way that you're grading its viability is about how much somebody would buy it for.
Yeah. Oh, God, he's actually so fucking stupid. Holy shit. He's a fucking retard. When people are valuing the business that you buy, they're not typically thinking of it as, well, you could use it as a subversive tool of propaganda to gain like illegitimate control over the state. That is correct. Yes, that's how it goes. When you buy a firm, you're usually thinking in terms of valuation of like, what can you sell the firm for in the future? It is indeed. That's like saying, oh, this guy spent $55 billion buying a firm that develops like a super secret sniper rifle, and it's only going to sell for like $2 billion in the future. What a bad buy. And it's like, oh, but what you didn't know was he was going to use a sniper rifle to like assassinate world leaders. Oh, I guess it was a good buy then. No, obviously that's not what people are thinking when they're valuing Twitter. They're not thinking of, oh, he's going to use this as an actual like propaganda arm of one of the campaigning people to control the entire government. Jesus.
Okay, so that's the nuclear clip. All right, that's what is really the reason why this beef is popping off, is because Destiny's calling our boy, our enlightened centrist savior, AsmonGold, a fucking really dumb guy, a silly little fella who wears Paw Patrol. He struck poor Asmon and gave him a little boo-boo that he has to put a little Paw Patrol sticker on now. So just to unpack what Destiny, I guess, responded to there, right? So AsmonGold basically says, oh, yeah, Elon Musk was really an idiot when he bought Twitter. Now he only has influence within a bunch of branches of the government. And that's facts. Here's the thing, right? I'm just going to give you my take straight up. I was confused as hell when Elon Musk bought Twitter. And I was also kind of on this wave of thinking, is he an idiot? Like, I was really trying to understand, there's no way that this guy is actually as emotional as it seems like he is portraying himself as, right? Like, you need to understand, I was there when Elon Musk was shilling Dogecoin, okay? In the frivolous way that he just jumped into that space, absorbed all the fucking attention, got a bunch of people excited and created a big old fucking amount of hype, and then just dropped the toy. I don't want to play with you anymore. And so when he bought Twitter, I was just like, wow, is there a logic to this? I was truly fascinated. And I was starting to think it might have just been a miscalc until I had a very serious revelation, okay? Elon Musk's bid to buy Twitter makes complete sense in the context of wanting to have control over the commons of the elite, all right? This is why I was confused. On paper, it does not make sense to buy Twitter. That's true, all right? It's historically one of the hardest platforms to monetize. I was, no joke, I'm not even joking you, I was a Twitter investor, okay? I did make money off of Twitter, but like it was a very weird stock to own because they just continuously had issues with monetizing. And yeah, I honestly think that's why former CEO of Twitter, Jack Doherty, he started a completely different company, Square. That's like his bread and butter now. And that's just such a simple fucking platform, payment processing. With Twitter, there's so many headaches, bro. Is it freedom of speech? What do we moderate? Like, there's so much annoyance. And Jack Doherty famously gets interviewed by Joe Rogan, gets grilled by Tim Pool. It was a mess of a company. That's just like the case. And if you look at even like the users, right? There's just not nearly as many users as any platform like YouTube, Meta, Facebook, whatever, Instagram, all these things. Twitter was not really like for normies. It's just not the case. You know what I mean? And of course, usually when it comes to especially advertising and data-based businesses, the money is in the masses, bro. It's in the scale, mass scale. And so from the lens of just strict numbers business, yes, it does not make sense to purchase Twitter at the valuation that it was purchased at. But, and it's a big but, I was not looking at it from the lens of capital as power, okay? When you get to a certain level of wealth, influence, and power, you do not view the game strictly by numbers. That's not at all the way that it works. you begin to view the game primarily in the context of relative power, okay? Now, this might sound schizo, but trust me, just follow me through this rabbit hole. Why would a billionaire like Jeff Bezos make a big deal about the fact that he purchased the Washington Post? On the paper, on the surface level, he obviously frames it as though, oh, I'm a good guy. I just wanted to buy this legacy media outlet that has so much history within American culture. And I wanted to do a favor to my friend. In reality, what Mr. Jeff Bezos was, of course, doing was buying legitimacy. Purchasing an outlet that now, of course, obviously, will not run negative articles on his endeavors, whether personal or private. But even more than that, it can even be used to propel these endeavors. And if there are people or interest groups or other companies that are antagonistic to your endeavors, well, we're just not going to do anything about that, of course. No, that's not how it works. And so what Destiny is saying here is absolutely incorrect. This is completely the case that billionaires and business strategists, this is the name of the game at the highest levels. How can you leverage to maximize your relative power? Let me give you another example. Google Corporation, the proud owners of this YouTube channel, technically. Alphabet, you gotta know your ABCs. Famous for purchasing their competitors and running them into the ground. In fact, this is just a kind of natural deviation of way that capital operates in general, okay? There are many cited cases of Alphabet, Google, acquiring even startups who have just the potential to disrupt their business or to sometimes just even offer a actually better product, and they will destroy them, disassemble them, scatter the team. Effectively, they will give a massive payday to the founders of these groups in exchange for the ability to crush them. Now, why would a massive company buy a tinier company and then destroy them effectively? To consolidate power. That's the entire reason. And so yes, it is extremely common within especially these high-level capital clubs to purchase assets without any consideration for the actual concrete long-term profitability in a strict numbers sense. That is the lens for trying to understand the way that big business operates through capital as power. So yeah, I don't know if Destiny is at all familiar with that concept, but it'll be interesting to just play back what he said.
You know, he used this as a weapon to effectively change the outcome of an election. It is the most powerful media tool probably in the world right now. And somehow the way that you're grading its viability is about how much somebody would buy it for.
Yeah. Oh, God, he's actually so fucking stupid. Holy shit. He's a fucking retard. When people are valuing the business that you buy, they're not typically thinking of it as, well, you could use it as a subversive tool of propaganda to gain like illegitimate control over the state.
I mean, maybe not usually, but that is absolutely a consideration that people at this level are thinking about for sure, for sure.
That's correct. Yes, that's how it goes. When you buy a firm, you're usually thinking in terms of valuation of like, what can you sell the firm for in the future? It is indeed. That's like saying, oh, this guy spent $55 billion buying a firm that develops like a super secret sniper rifle, and it's only going to sell for like $2 billion in the future. What a bad buy. And it's like, oh, but what you didn't know is he was going to use a sniper rifle to like assassinate world leaders. Oh, I guess it was a good buy then. No, obviously that's not what people are thinking when they're valuing Twitter.
Yeah, because that's the thing, right? Like most people do not think within this frame at all. And that's understandable. But that is the difference foundationally with how, you know, most of us fucking think and how the elite think. Okay? They genuinely just view things in terms of their utility in increasing their relative power. Okay?
Thinking of, oh, he's going to use this as an actual like propaganda arm of one of the campaigning people to control the entire government.
And so, yeah, this is why I was actually like, oh, fuck, damn it. Elon Musk is, at the very least, you cannot say that the guy is a complete dumbass because he successfully acquired the commons of the elite, all right? Because again, I was trying to understand what is the appeal of Twitter from a business perspective. I was even thinking like, in terms of actually influencing any kind of politics, it doesn't necessarily make that much sense to me. But then when you understand the fact that Twitter is actually the public forum, effectively, for everybody who is somebody. Now, you might hear that and you might flinch. You might be like, bro, shut up. Okay, maybe, but just hear me out for a second. Twitter is one of the only platforms that I know of where every elected official, where everybody who is somebody is a member. It is basically a big pool of thought leaders, whether you like it or not, expressing their thoughts. Whether it be politicians, streamers, professionals of any field, journalists, artists, directors, business owners, anybody who has influence in this fucking world often has a Twitter that they actively use. This is the place where these types of people usually spend the most amount of time, where they consume and they post. And this is certainly the space where these types of people are intermingled the most, okay? So what the fuck does that mean? is pretty simple. Twitter is the place where the people in actual positions of power who actually have influence consume their opinions. It is the commons for the elite, whether we like it or not. It is fundamentally different from Instagram, YouTube, because those three platforms are primarily made for us peons, okay? To look at something and our opinion on it doesn't really matter that much. And so yes, when you have control over the commons, where the elite hang out, will you tell me, what is more effective? Influencing us tiny little fellas, but on a mass scale? Or influencing the people who are actually in positions of power, who then basically disseminate the concepts that you are planting in their head down to us peons? I think you get it, but yeah.
Jesus.
It's just like such a one-dimensional way of thinking.
It's... Never mind, okay.
In order to turn the social media platform into a right-wing propaganda machine to get Donald Trump elected.
It's again, like from anybody on social media, like I'm not going to look at what Elon Musk did with Twitter. Also, Twitter is not a right-wing propaganda machine. There are tons of people that are left-wing that are posting on
The owner is literally a supporter of the right wing. He literally commandeered the @America account to...
Yeah, anybody who thinks that Elon Musk is unbiased or that he's not right-leaning or whatever, yes, that's cope. He is. That's just the case, okay? That should be obvious. Yes, Twitter does have a bent toward right-wing sympathies, okay? Well, okay, before I go into a huge rant, I'll just tease it by saying Elon Musk is effectively spearheading a massive shift or divide that is occurring within the big tech kind of power elite, okay, toward the right. So the way that most big tech has been positioned over the last 10 years is in kind of a more liberal direction. That's true. Musk is now one of the most successful people at positioning an alternative to the kind of liberal hegemony that exists with, you know, these big tech or at least social media platforms.
Literally commandeered the @America account to promote the right-wing talking points to get Donald Trump elected.
Yeah, I mean, that's just facts, yeah.
And he literally, the owner of the platform, literally retweets other right-wing accounts.
Yes, this is 100%. Destiny's just spitting facts. Like, Elon Musk absolutely simps or advocates for, like, right-wing leaders or whatever you want to say. I mean, one of the big things that he did was unban a fuckload of people on the far, far right. Whatever you think about that, I understand embracing freedom of speech, but that is what he did. And when I say far right, I'm not talking Trump. I'm talking some of our friends.
Like, if this isn't a right-wing platform, what the fuck are you talking about? Do you think AsmonGold was one of the people pissing and shitting and cumming themselves whenever there would be a person would post something like, I think Jewish space lasers are destroying our DNA, and they get banned, or they're like, oh, left-wing moderation, oh my God, left-wing, oh my God, the left-wing censorship media, like, Jesus.
Wing propaganda machine to get Donald Trump elected.
It's again, like from anybody on social media, like I'm not going to look at what Elon Musk did with Twitter. Also, Twitter is not a right-wing propaganda machine.
There's nuance here, right? Because you do not need to be right-wing. It's not necessarily a right-wing echo chamber. There are absolutely left spaces on Twitter. That's just a fact. But the leaders of the platform at the moment have successfully angled for right-wing sentiments to spread aggressively. Okay. Anybody who has used Twitter in the last year and a half knows that this is just facts.
There are tons of people that are left-wing that are posting on Twitter, and they can post basically whatever they want. The fact is that Twitter is an open space for people to have opinions. That's it. It is.
I mean, that's true, right? When Destiny was popping off, basically saying that the Trump supporter who died during the attempted assassination, when Destiny was saying that guy deserved it, basically, right? He did not get banned from Twitter. I believe he did get like a little punishment or whatever, but he's still on the platform, so.
No, it's not. What happens if you follow a bunch of left-wing people? Well, then you're going to get their opinions instead. That's what happens.
You do know that, like, Elon's account in and of itself has like an artificial boost on like its tweets.
Yeah,
right?
It's pretty much facts, yeah.
We are to believe what Twitter employees say, and the fact that you get them spammed like fucking crazy to you every time you log onto that.
Yeah.
Not like when Elon Musk took over, he went and banned Bernie Sanders. That's not how it works.
I mean, look, let's be clear. Like, Bernie Sanders is actually not that radical. Okay. Bernie Sanders is not nearly as radical as the people who got unbanned on Twitter. All right, from the right. But anyway,
if your mindset is that all of this stuff has always been corrupt, these people have always been like criminals and crooks, then of course it's easy to accept anytime somebody is actually like a criminal or a crook, right? Like, it's easy to accept that.
Well, the thing with the Trump campaign, I think a big part of the appeal is just how brazen it is. You know what I mean? How in your face it is. Like, We're the anti-establishment. The system's corrupt, all this stuff, while simultaneously certainly being corrupt, right? Like, that's true. But yeah, the almost like self-aware, like, fuck you nature of the movement is totally a massive part of the appeal. It's a huge source of enjoyment for a lot of the people who are very invested in it, right? And a lot of people have said this in ways more, you know, sophisticated than me, but basically that's the fucking appeal. It's exciting, bro. It's a train and it don't stop. And that's alluring, okay? For a lot of people who don't have much more going for them, they will sooner pick something that excites them than that could be more so in their interest, right?
But the problem is that you're not going to get any sympathy from people when this has been something that's been going on forever.
Like, there it is, yeah. It hasn't been going on forever. You just don't know anything. You just have no history, understanding. You have no concept of what goes on in the media. You don't even know what a super PAC is. You don't know what any of this is. But you're like, oh yeah, this has been happening forever. No, it hasn't. Nothing like this has ever happened in the history of the United States of America. Well,
that's cap. Okay, so there's like a couple examples you could give, but Andrew Jackson, that's a massive one. Okay, that was, if you want to see a divisive election, you can't see it because I guess, you know, cameras didn't exist, but Andrew Jackson, bro, that guy, if you want to talk about disasters, that is probably one of the most disastrous, destructive presidencies of all time. If you look at the actual facts of what happened. And by the way, when he got elected, people stormed the White House. Like, there's definitely precedence for this level of chaos in association with an election. Maybe not necessarily like in recent times, but I mean, look at even George Bush, right? The dispute with Al Gore. I mean, you have guys like fucking Roger Stone bragging on Netflix documentaries about how they swayed and effectively fucking fixed, or at the very least influenced, the George Bush election, okay? That is an insane fucking case, for the record. And keep in mind that Roger Stone is one of the brains behind the Trump campaign, especially the 2016 campaign. But yeah, look, here's the thing, right? The way that the Trump campaign or election or movement, whatever, is unique in my head is because we're actually seeing basically the first case of American politics transcending legacy media, okay? The TV, cable, news, establishment, controlled talking heads, okay? It's still contained, all right? Let's be clear. It's still contained within certain boundaries, right? But this movement is truly like the first to successfully harness the potential of guerrilla grassroots internet marketing. The amount of organic impressions that Trump has generated, unfucking believable. Unbelievable. So there's a lot to learn from it, and it is definitely a unique movement or whatever, but more so in my head for the, you know, aesthetic deviations or whatever you would say. But yes, Andrew Jackson basically ran on a lot of extremely similar talking points, okay? He wanted to empower the states, he wanted to undermine the federal government, they're corrupt, etc., etc. These populist narratives definitely have precedence within, you know, not even that distant history. So yeah.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head that's even remotely close to this. I can't think of anything that's even remotely close to this. Like, Twitter has become like RT. Like, it's just insane.
Citizens United was codified into law before Trump was even around.
You don't know what that case was about. You don't know what it does. You don't know what a super PAC is. Kill me.
So
dude.
what are we talking about? How Elon Musk is some kind of like unique danger? It's outrageous. Yeah, you lost the game, bro. Like,
Elon Musk is a unique danger. Well, again, the context that he could be perceived as a unique danger is that he is like kind of the first power elite to successfully spearhead a more right-leaning social media platform. So yes, Elon Musk is very threatening to the more liberal-leaning power elite, okay? The establishment, I guess you could say. Although, obviously, Musk and company are very quickly becoming the establishment, so it'll be their turn to fuck up.
yeah, you lost the game. That's it.
Twitter and YouTube literally had the president banned off their platform. Do you know how long it took them to ban him? And
okay, that's facts. That's true, actually. That's a good point.
they banned him because he was inciting violence, which all the Republicans, by the way, even the Republicans agreed to, and all of your hack conservative commentators agreed to before they realized that Trump was still going to remain popular in the party. So yeah, they did ban him for breaking the rules. That's how it's supposed to go. Yes.
Yeah, okay. Look, people in positions of high authority, presidents, the rules do not apply to these fucking people. And when the rules do apply to them, that is not just a standard decision, okay? That is a political decision that occurs. Whether you think it's correct, moral, or ethical, like, that is a political fucking decision, 100%. That's partisan, I guess you could say. Doesn't mean it's bad, but also doesn't mean it's correct or whatever.
Excusable, unjustifiable, awful on every level, disgusting on every level. Just Terrible. Terrible. When you have rioters taking over the U.S. Capitol building, the seat.
Yeah, I mean, look, January 6th was embarrassing, first and foremost. I don't think that you could better illustrate the enjoyment, the spectacle of United States politics than by showing footage from January 6th, because it was a joke, in my opinion. I'm honestly kind of impressed that, I don't know if it's Destiny or Destiny's editor, probably his editor, that they decided to put Ben Shapiro denouncing January 6th. That's pretty smart, right? Because it's basically appealing to, I guess, moderate conservatives or something like that.
Twitter is a direct threat to establishment media because Twitter is...
That's true.
It's a bigger platform than any establishment media.
That is false. It's not a bigger platform. It influences the elite more than any existing platform, in my opinion. Basically, it influences the influencers. You understand? So it has like a bigger net impact on political climate or culture or whatever.
It's worldwide, and it's effectively completely open. So the ability that, like, I've always thought that media has actually always been corrupt. It's just that we didn't know it until we got the internet, and we could really see what happens behind the curtain.
It's so crazy how retarded the internet has made all these fucking morons. Oh my god, it's actually crazy to me. The false sense of grandeur that you think you know so much because you sit there and you spam watch fucking Tim Pool and Alex Jones. You're like, oh my god, this is reality? This is crazy. Like, these are the same people that would have been talking to you about Bat Boy because they were buying the National Enquirer when they were standing in line at Walmart. Holy shit.
I think media...
Destiny is so fucking over this shit. I get it, because what the fuck do we know what we're talking about, right? But in the case of Asmon, right, this shit gets views. I don't know. Something happened. I don't know. AsmonGold is somehow a real political talking head. He has real influence. Blood is getting 1 million+ views, uploading multiple clips a day. Is what it is.
Has always been extremely corrupt. It's just that now we have the tools to perceive it. Mainstream media is dying. Yes, it is dying, and Twitter is pulling the plug. That's what I'm saying. Twitter is the main place that people get information. Bigger than any of them combined? Yeah, exactly. So this is the reason why they're against Twitter and why they're trying to like make advertisers leave Twitter. It's because they want to maintain their position in the media economy. And Twitter is threatening that position in a direct way.
I think that's true. Bro, wait, what are they drinking? Wait, whoa. Okay, fuck off, first of all. AsmonGold has a Coke, not a Mountain Dew. That's our Mountain Dude. You drink the Dew, or you don't. Red Bull versus Coke. Destiny takes the dub on this one.
Contracts to the point where the U.S. space program has become largely dependent on him. Now he's going to be something approaching a kind of co-president.
A co-president, wow. Who thought that? Oh, I guess. Yeah, they just invented that. Advertisers are leaving on their own because it's a cesspool. I don't think that's true. I think that media and advertisers...
Oh my god, and he's even slurping up the Elon load about how advertisers are just leaving the platform because they're colluding against him. They don't like him.
I am an advertiser skeptic, okay? I would love to hear other people's opinions on this, but I think that in almost every single case, when advertisers pull out or boycott or whatever, that is usually two primary reasons, right? Number one is that they have a genuine pressure, a market pressure, right? And it basically is a way for them to practice corporate social responsibility and project any kind of sincerity of doing what's right or whatever. Yes, some companies, I believe that can be sincere. Most, I think it's completely cynical. And then number two is that they will pull out or they will join a boycott in order basically to gain leverage against the platform. This, in my opinion, was the best illustrated by YouTube's adpocalypse. Okay, for those who know like the real reasons why the first big YouTube adpocalypse occurred, it was not that deep, in my opinion. And in my opinion, it was very much so a case where these companies almost used the boycott as a way to strike from YouTube in order to leverage negotiating more favorable rates, or at least, you know, a year or two long horizon. In the case of Musk, it is a bit different because he made Twitter's identity so synonymous with his own that it actually could be seen as a sincere brand risk to associate in any way with Musk. I get it, but I'm still a cynic when it comes to advertisers personally.
Kill me, bro.
Advertisers create an expectation, and also advertisers probably don't.
Yeah, the expectation that there are going to be like open Nazis and like anti-Semitic, crazy racist black people fighting videos that are getting...
Yeah, look, let's be clear, like Twitter is extreme, bro. Again, compare what YouTube's ad boycott occurred for versus what Twitter hosts. It is unbelievable. I could credit Twitter though, like it is, or at least it has been a kind of resource for unfiltered access to video content from, you know, war-torn areas. But yeah, there's also just a lot of hateful, toxic cancer. That's just a fact.
50,000 likes and retweets like every other fucking day on the platform.
That's facts.
I think that media and advertisers create an expectation, and also advertisers probably don't want to have Twitter owned by Elon Musk either. And so what happens is that advertisers, by withholding funding and not putting funding out there, what they do is they create soft speech requirements where it's like, well, you can't have these opinions, you can't say these things, you can't even allow other people to say these things.
Interesting. That's actually, he's bringing it deeper than I would, to be honest. I don't think it's that. I mean, you could say that, but I don't think it's that deep.
Because if you do, we're going to take away the money we give you, and we're going to use this as leverage to get you to compel speech. Like, that's basically what happens. And I know that there are some people...
Interesting. I don't think that this happens in any grand coordinated way, but this probably does happen relatively naturally, just based on the incentive structure, I guess. But yeah, that's an interesting take.
People that are happy about this and they're like, oh, that's good. It's not good. It's not good when Elon Musk does it. It's not good when they do it either. I don't want to have some multi-billion-dollar company that has a fiduciary responsibility to make as much profit as possible, trying to be the arbiter of what can and can't be said.
Yeah, I mean, most people would agree with that. Yeah, hard to avoid that, of course, but yeah.
That's insane. Of course not.
Okay. And so now, post boo-boo that Destiny administered to Mr. AsmonGold, okay? He scratched at him a little bit, called him a little bit of a really dumb guy, a silly little Willy. Now, AsmonGold has reacted. Okay, they're playing basically like clip tennis, all right? Where they're reacting to each other. And so here is AsmonGold's response basically to Destiny calling him a fucking idiot.
Changed my opinions about a number of things like January 6th.
So he's giving Destiny credit for some of the stuff that Destiny's, pilled him on.
What is Kick? Kick is effectively a loss leader for stake.
Facts. That's just a fact.
And I think that Elon Musk is using Twitter as a loss leader for Tesla and SpaceX by losing money on it to make more money by entrenching himself in the government.
Yes. Now, that is definitely the case. Whether you truly think that Elon Musk was not thinking that when he bought it, that is what it is being used as, effectively.
It exists in an ecosystem. And
that's called rent seeking, and it's bad. It's considered a bad thing. It's considered a bad thing in a liberal capitalist society when you're spending money not on research and development, on creating a better product, not on advertising, insofar as trying to get your product in front of more people, but in spending money to alter the regulatory environment to give you a competitive edge. That's called rent-seeking behavior, and it's generally either illegal or highly discouraged because you don't want people spending money on shit just to have a more competitive to make their product seem more competitive by buying the government. By definition, you want to avoid that. Rent-seeking is bad behavior.
He's talking about, I'm pretty sure this is the official term for this, but it's basically like you are using your existing wealth or existing assets in order to sway political or social ecosystem toward you accruing more wealth, effectively. So without providing any value, right, as that's the entire idea of rent, kind of a landlord or whatever, you don't produce any new value, really. You extract more profit or wealth off of what you already have. And so, damn, that Destiny going off about that, that's actually interesting because especially when it comes to a platform like Twitter, dude, social media, every fucking single one of them does this. Every single one. Without fail. If you look at even Canada, okay, YouTube consistently tries to lobby the Canadian government. If you look at Bill C-11, which friend of the channel, JJ McCullough, has championed against, YouTube was buying ads all over Canada to try and have us, advocate against this bill being instituted, which you can agree that the bill shouldn't be integrated, right? But that's like the name of the game. Companies want to increase their relative power. Sometimes that conflicts with the government. And so the best way to combat the government, okay, which government is the entity that creates and enforces the rules of the game. Well, how do you prevent the referee effectively from interfering with your endeavor to gain relative power? You cut them in, or you threaten their family, or you tell them, we will work with you. This is a relationship that we're forming. And so what Destiny's saying, we'll play it again, actually.
To make more money by entrenching himself in the government. It exists in an ecosystem. And
that's called rent seeking, and it's bad. It's considered a bad thing. It's considered a bad thing in a liberal capitalist society when you're spending money not on research and development, on creating a better product, not on advertising, insofar as trying to get your product in front of more people, but in spending money to alter the regulatory environment to give you a competitive edge. That's called rent-seeking behavior, and it's generally either illegal or highly discouraged because you don't want people spending money on shit just to have a more competitive to make their product seem more competitive by buying the government. By definition, you want to avoid that. Rent-seeking is bad behavior.
Okay, yes, bad behavior. Okay, bad behavior. Yeah, I don't know, man. In my opinion, this is not a bug, it's a feature. You know what I mean? It's just who approves of the rent seeking, of which factions, right? And so, yes, in this case, Musk's rent-seeking behavior or whatever is approved because he picked the right side or whatever you would say. Talking about this, like the rent extracting of the social media platforms, it reminds me of Yanis Varoufakis's techno-feudalism. Okay, this is like a feudal kind of setup that is emerging through social media platforms. It's super strange because they create an ecosystem, right? These social media platforms. And within this ecosystem, you're almost trapped, right? Like everything that you do is basically taxed by the owners of the ecosystem. So if you use Facebook or Instagram and they advertise you a product and you click on that ad, Facebook, Instagram, they collect basically fees or percentages, royalties, whatever, from every sale that goes through, of course. In the case of Amazon, they probably have one of the most like incredible feudal ecosystems where literally other people sign up to be vendors on Amazon because they have the eyes, the consumer base. They own the garden, you know what I mean? Where the butterflies flock. And so Amazon has complete control of this entire massive market space. Audiobooks, consumer products, gaming now, video, web services. At every level, they have their hand up someone's ass, grabbing their nuggets and putting them under their pocket. In the case of Twitter, that ecosystem is basically control of the elite's opinion ecosystem, which is very hard value to calculate. Let me just double check rent seeking, make sure I'm not cooked. Economic concept that occurs when an entity seeks to gain wealth without making any reciprocal contribution to the wealth of the wealth to society. Right. Yeah. Okay. So I don't know exactly what he means by how, like, Elon Musk is rent seeking. I don't understand that take fully. Like with Twitter, I don't know if you understand what Destiny means, maybe you'll explain it. But yeah, I'm not really certain exactly what he means by that. And then AsmonGold's editor releases a clip with quotation marks. AsmonGold is a fucking silly Billy.
I respect Destiny a lot. I think that if you look at the reason why he did it, and if you look at it in the context of his other companies and his other goals, I think it makes a lot of sense. He just called you an R word?
And are now apparently going to be running America.
He just called you an R word, Destiny. Oh my God. This is the political landscape that we live in, dude. Enjoy it. Soak it in. Better to laugh than cry. Never forget that.
You're not going to gaslight people into thinking this is the, oh, wow, now it's rigged. It's been rigged, and you were defending it. But now you're not because it's not rigged in your favor. That's it.
You just don't know anything. You just have no history understanding. You have no concept of what goes on in the media. You don't even know what a super PAC is. You don't know what any of this is.
Destiny, for the love of Christ. 1 week ago, you were telling XQC that Kamala was the favorite, and he bet 700K on her.
Did you see XQC put 700K on it?
Dude, yeah, he asked me yesterday. He's like, who do you think's going to win? I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's Kamala. Like, you really feel it? I was like, yeah, I think so. And then he sent me a picture of the bet.
That's
like,
so funny.
Then, on the same...
Damn. Okay, so yes, Destiny's editor is using an AI voice to basically respond to Destiny. Spark the drama a little bit further. He claps back. And so they're using this clip of XQC basically saying he thought Harris would win to own him, I guess, because he was wrong.
I'm pretty sure it's Kamala. Like, you really feel it? I was like, yeah, I think so. And then he sent me a picture of the bet.
That's
like,
so funny.
Then, on the same stream, you showed Harris' campaign has spent more than double Trump's.
Listen to what he just said.
Harris got 3 times the money Trump did? Yeah, exactly.
Harris just got 3 times the money Trump did.
It's pay to win? Yeah.
It's pay to win, yeah. Those two statements directly contradict each other.
Destiny, for the love of Anubis. You can claim Elon's wealth was instrumental in getting Trump's elected, while also seeing how Harris was pushed so much that she turned from being one of the most disliked vice presidents in history to be seen as the second coming of Obama. Meanwhile, this is what her own people were saying behind closed doors.
And I'm going to say what a lot of these folks aren't saying. I'm just going to say it. If you think that there is consensus among the people who want Joe Biden to leave, that they will support Kamala, Vice President Harris, you would be mistaken. And I'm going to say that because if they're going to come out and say all their little things on background off the record, but they're not going to be fully honest, I'm going to be honest for them. I'm in these rooms. I see what they say in conversations. A lot of them are not just interested in removing the president. They are interested in removing the whole ticket.
Should there have been an open primary, though?
Well, see, we thought that there would be. The anticipation was that if the president were to step aside, that there would be an open primary.
So you have an historically disliked vice president. Her own people don't want her. Internal polling showing Biden would have lost catastrophically.
They were privately telling reporters at the time that Kamala Harris couldn't win. Biden campaign's own internal polling at the time when they were telling us he was the strongest candidate showed that Donald Trump was going to win 400 electoral votes.
And now you want to tell me it's not pay to win when the media was praising her as the next Obama, and you were so convinced she would win that XQC bet 700K on her. Come on now, my man. Back to you, Baldy.
You know, he used this as a weapon to effectively change the outcome of an election, and somehow the way that you're grading its viability is about how much somebody would buy it for. I think that if you look at the reason why he did it, and if you look at it in the context of his other companies and his other goals, I think this proves it. 1 trillion. Okay, so it's $1 trillion. It's gone up by 20%. So that means it's $200 billion. Twitter was bought for $40 billion. That's how I see it.
All right, so that's a clapback. AsmonGold basically said, I don't even got to respond to this. Let my editor take care of it. He hit him with the talk to the paw because the hand is off duty. Now, to be clear, Destiny also reacts to this, and he basically points out, like, okay, buddy, I did not make XQC lose that money. We'll literally just react to Destiny's reaction because I'm a little goblin, and you know what? Just let me have this one, please. Please just let me have this one. And you know what else you should let me have? Your money, okay? You see this headless little fella? Guess what? Have you seen my Sneeko video? Destiny has a cameo in it, okay? So if you haven't seen my Sneeko video, you should watch it. And if you have, then you have seen the cute little Hubert with his head. Guess what? We're selling these little fellas, limited supply, only at gokamerch.com, okay? You sign up for the email list right now, not only will you get this beautiful Paw Patrol sticker, Band-Aid, but you will also get 10% off store-wide with all these cool items that you see. And it would just make me happy. Does that mean anything to you? I have a boo-boo on my face. Kiss it better, please. Back to the reaction.
You have no concept of what goes on in the media. You don't even know what a super PAC is. You don't know what any of this is.
Destiny, for the love of Christ. 1 week ago, you were telling XQC that Kamala was the favorite, and he bet 700K on her.
Did you see XQC put 700K on it? Dude,
yeah, he asked me yesterday. He's like, who do you think's... Wait, how is this an argument? Hey, I'm pretty sure I've always said it's like 55-45, I think, in favor of Kamala. Wait, that's what we're going by? His election predictions?
Okay, so that's his claim that he wasn't actually just saying like Kamala sweep bet 700K.
I'm pretty sure it's Kamala. You really feel it? I was like, yeah, I think so. And then he sent me a picture of the bet.
That's so funny.
Then, on the same stream, you showed Harris' campaign has spent more than double Trump's.
Listen to what he just said.
Harris got 3 times the money Trump did? Yeah, exactly.
Harris just got 3 times the money Trump did.
It's pay to win? Yeah.
It's pay to win, yeah. Those two statements directly contradict. Well, first of all, this is spending that's raised directly by the campaign. That doesn't include super PAC contributions. The spending by the campaign is not the same as the spending by the totality of media spending. These are my logs with XQC. Hold on. XQC messaged me on election day. No, I'm sorry, the day before, November 4th. And he says, yo, who's winning? Tell me. I'm putting a bet on Kamala. How safe is that? Probably 80% safe, right? I said probably 60.
80% safe. That's wild. XQC really thought it was 80% safe. I can't believe that.
55% safe. I don't know about 80%. XQC lists the bet. He says, it's not a blah, blah, blah. And then I say, he's talking about how much you put on. And I go, LOL, good luck. Like,
okay, so Destiny thought 65% Kamala. He did not tell XQC, yo, bet 700K, Kamala's winning. XQC wanted to gamble like a degenerate because he's a gambling degenerate. And Destiny, if anything, he kind of talked him down a little bit. Although, let's be clear, 65%, those are favorable, you know?
I've never given like a for sure, like 100% these guys are going to win. Like, that's, what a projection. What an insane fucking projection. Jesus Christ.
He's got to debate AsmonGold's editor, dude.
Christ. I don't know if I've ever given him, like, said that there's like more than a 65% chance that Kamala is going to win. I might, maybe like a month or two ago, maybe I said that, but like
he just told that to XQC.
It's like election predictions. How is this the same as like knowing information about things or talking about things that's like already happened? What? Just got 3 times the money Trump did.
It's pay to win? Yeah.
It's pay to win, yeah. Those two statements directly contradict each other.
Destiny, for the love of Anubis. You can claim Elon's wealth was instrumental in getting Trump elected, while also seeing how Harris was pushed so much that she turned from being one of the most disliked vice presidents in history to be seen as the second coming of Obama.
What is the date for this huge flip in favorability? Did this just happen when she was announced as the candidate? Okay.
Yeah, but when she was announced as the candidate, obviously that's when the fucking money bags went away from propping up Joey Boy and directly into pushing Mrs. Kamala.
Meanwhile, this is what her own people were saying behind closed doors.
And I'm going to say what a lot of these folks aren't.
I don't think this is relevant, okay? This is basically AOC saying, like, there was no consensus among Democrat leaders about having Kamala as the Democratic candidate, okay? And it just doesn't matter. I mean, of course, there's not consensus.
I don't even know what the point is. Like, obviously there was huge contention in the Democratic Party over what would be done. Like, we literally had people started leaking shit to the press to get Biden to step down. No shit, there was like huge contention over what was going on.
I think the point that they're making is basically that like not many people liked or backed Kamala, not even behind the scenes, and that the way that she managed to even get even remotely close to competing with Trump someone who has decade of awareness within the public and who has already been president, was by pumping the money train supporting Kamala.
Well, I don't understand who he's even arguing against.
Yeah, that's a stupid
right now.
So you have an historically disliked vice president. Her own people don't want her. Internal polling showing Biden.
Everybody, everybody's favorability in American politics sucks right now because the partisanship is at like insanely all-time highs. It's just crazy how.
Okay, but like, let's be clear, right? Like, Kamala went from very much like a almost afterthought of Joe Biden's presidency, right, to basically only having a few months to really project her campaign. That it was an uphill battle. I don't know.
Oh, unpopular everybody is. Even Donald Trump was a historically unpopular president. He's really popular with Republicans, but
yeah, but he was known. You know what I mean? The amount of organic advertising that guy generates is unbelievable. What organic advertising does Kamala Harris produce? Seriously.
That's it. Like,
disliked vice president. Her own people don't want her. Internal polling showing Biden would have lost catastrophically.
They were privately...
As opposed to like, who would you run instead?
Telling reporters at the time that Kamala Harris couldn't win. Biden campaign's own internal polling at the time when they were telling us he was the strongest candidate showed that Donald Trump was going to win 400 electoral votes.
And now you want to tell me it's not pay to win when the media was praising her as the next Obama, and you were so convinced she would win that XQC bet 700K on her. Come on now, my man.
What does any of that have to do with pay to win? Wait, what?
Look, I don't know. Destiny he sparked the drama, and the response, it's like, it's stupid. It's dumb. It's like a drama-esque response where he's like, Destiny, you made XQC lose 700K. And it's like, okay, this whole drama will be boring if these two don't talk directly, okay? Destiny has, kind of tried to reach out to AsmonGold and have a serious debate with him, but AsmonGold basically just wants to talk nicely. And Destiny's like, buddy, the kid gloves are off. And so AsmonGold doesn't seem to necessarily want to talk to Destiny.
Do you, Baldy?
He used this as a weapon to effectively change the outcome of an election. And somehow the way that you're grading its viability is about how much somebody would buy it for. I think that if you look at the reason why he did it, and if you look at it in the context of his other companies and his other goals, I think this proves it. $1 trillion. Okay, so it's $1 trillion. It's gone up by 20%. So that means it's $200 billion. Twitter was bought for $40 billion.
Yes, it was a massive, massive provable dub for Elon Musk. He cemented the Vic Roy, okay? That's true.
That's how I see it, right? That's how I see it.
Okay.
Destiny ain't got no response.
Absolutely based. Would you debate his editor? I don't know if he... I don't think his editor does debates. I know you said you'd want to do a talk with Asmon online, but he says he's going to Florida soon, so it could be a good opportunity. I've already addressed that in chat. I'm not interested in like having like the friendly conversations with like the both sides anymore. And Asmon seemed pretty clear that he didn't want to do like anything even resembling a challenging conversation, so I'm not interested. I'm not going to like just have people like come on and be like, oh, I think both sides are the same, and then like never want to talk about it. It's just like it's the epitome of just stupid shit. I'm not wasting my time on it ever again.
Yeah, so there you have it. Destiny tried to reach out. AsmonGold said, I'm busy, I'm about to go to Florida. Basically, AsmonGold is not eager to debate Destiny, and Destiny's making it clear he wants to debate, okay? This will not be some friendly conversation like AsmonGold usually has with Hasan, where they come to like a common ground and AsmonGold doesn't have to concede that much. Destiny's basically like, if we step in the ring, buddy, we ain't walking out until one of us hits the ground, okay? They're gonna need a whole lot more than a Paw Patrol bandage to patch up the prick that plummets from his public platform. And so yeah, that's the current state, okay? The air is tense between AsmonGold and Destiny. There's a little bit brewing. It could blow over, all right, if these two get distracted and they kind of forget about it. You never know. But I would, to be honest, be very interested in seeing these guys talk directly, have an actual debate about this stuff, because it's actually an interesting topic. I won't lie. I genuinely think that both of them have relatively interesting perspectives on this. But let me know what you think, okay? And while you think about that, do me the favor of going to gokamerch.com and checking out what we've got, okay? We have some actually cool items. You don't even need to be a fan, I would say, to purchase these items. I think they're pretty cool. As an unbiased reporter, I would fix the election in my favor. And yeah, if you want to catch my live streams, join my Discord. And to see my unreleased main channel videos, join my Patreon, baby. Trust me, we have a lot coming. The future is looking very exciting. So thank you for watching, and please give me a kiss to make my boo-boo better. Thank you.